So UI actions are nothing but buttons which are clickable. So UI actions are client side UI actions. And server side UI actions. If it is something related to database operations, you will directly go for server side UI action. Okay. If it is not something related to database operations, you will go for client side UI actions. So client side UI action is nothing but opening the incident forms. Okay. Opening the incident forms in a new tab, not creating, not updating, not deleting. If it is not something related to database operation, we'll go for client side UI action. Okay. In today's session, how are we going to create both client side and server side UI action both at a time? In today's session, how are we going to create both client side and server side both at a time? Okay. Let me go to the HR case form. Okay. So here I have to show a button called resolve button. I have to show a button here called resolve button. When I click on the button, first of all, I have to check where are the sections. So I have to show here a button that is actually resolve button. Whenever I click on that button, okay, it has to check the resolution code and nodes are filled in or not. If the resolution code and nodes are not filled in, we have to stop the form submission. If the resolution code and nodes are filled in, we have to mark the state as resolved. So that means here what we are doing, instead of selecting the state value as resolved, what we are doing is we are clicking on the button. Whenever you click on the button, the resolution code and nodes are already filled in. It will automatically keep the state value as resolved. Okay, if the resolution code and nodes are not filled in, if the resolution code and nodes are not filled in, okay, if the resolution code and nodes are not filled in, we have to stop the form submission. If the resolution code and nodes are filled in, we have to mark the state as resolved in the database. Okay. So for that, I'm actually creating a UI action called resolve UI action. It should appear only on the existing record. Form button. It should show in the blue color, in this color. So then what we will do, you will scroll down here in the client checkbox. Because it has to check if the fields are filled in or not. It has to check if the fields are filled in or not. So then here, first of all, I'll take two field values where our code resolution code is equal to g underscore form dot get value. Okay. If the field names, resolution code field name, resolution nodes field name, you have to take here. Equal to empty or r node equal to empty. Okay. Getting my point. Okay. So then what I will do, I'll write a error message g underscore form dot add and you have to stop the form submission. You can stop the form submission using return forms. Okay. If those two field values are filled in, it will go to else part. Okay. Okay. So here what I am doing is, guys, remember only within this function only you can write client side script. So within this function only you can write client side script like glide glide form, glide user, glide ajax, glide model form. All those things you can write only within this function. Outside this function, you can write again server side script. Two field values are not filled in, we are actually showing the error message and we are stopping the form submission. If the two field values are filled in, it will come to else part. So we'll write GSFT submit. Here you have to provide UI action name. What is the UI action name? This one. So what exactly this line does? This line will take you to outside of this function. This line GSFT submit function will move you outside of the function, client side function. So that means it will come out of this particular function. Okay, if two field values are filled in, this line will be executed. This function will actually allow you to move out of the client side function. So here outside the function, you can write server side script. Okay. And also we need to make sure when you are moving from client side to server side. So client side function to server side, you need to make sure there are no browser errors. There are no browser errors. You need to make sure that. So for that you have to check if type of window equal to undefined. Okay. Current dot u underscore state equal to resolved. Resolved field value is 6. You can use current dot update. Action dot set redirect URL current record. Okay. So I am just creating a UI action called resolve UI action. It will appear only on the existing records. Okay. It is taking first two field values, resolution code field value, resolution nodes field value. Resolution code equal to empty, resolution node equal to empty. If any of the fields are empty, we are showing this error message. We are stopping the form submission using return false. If two field values are filled in, we are using GSFT submit function. It will actually move you from client side to server side. So when you are actually moving from client side to server side, if there are any browser errors, it will not actually, it can't move from client side to servers. So type of window equal to undefined means no browser errors. If no browser errors, keep the state value as 6 and update the record and redirect to the current record. So let me just refresh this one. So you are able to see a button called resolve button. When I click on this one, what is it telling? Resolution code or nodes are mandatory. So I am filling the resolution code here. I'm filling the resolution nodes here. And when I click on resolve button, what is it doing? It is keeping the state value as resolve. It is keeping the state value as resolved in the database. Okay. It has kept the state value as resolved in the database. Okay. Similarly, I have to create a button called close button. I have to create a button called close button. Go to UI actions. So whenever you click on that close button, we have to check if the additional comments field value is filled in or not. If the additional comments field value is filled in, we should allow them to close the state. If the additional comments are not filled in, we have to stop the form submission. Right click, configure, go to UI actions. Okay. Form button. Okay. So client checkbox you have to check. You have to write it in the on click. Okay. Got my point, right? I have to take the additional comments field value. Additional comments field name I am taking. This is the additional comments field name. where additional comments is equal to okay. Return false will stop the form submission. Before that, we have to show error message. The else part, okay. GSFT submit null G underscore form dot get form element the UI action name. Okay. It will allow you to move outside the client side function. Okay. If type of window equal to undefined, current dot u underscore state is equal to close remain 7, current dot update action dot current. Okay. Save this one. So go to the form. You will be able to see a button here called close button. Whenever you click on the close button, what is it telling? Additional comments are mandatory. Suppose you filled in the additional comments. Once you click on close, it will actually keep the state value as closed here. Getting my point? Hmm? I have to create another button called work in progress. I have to create another button called work in progress. So whenever I click on that button, if the assigned to is assigned, I should keep the state value as work in progress. If it is not if it is not assigned to someone, we have to stop the form submission and say assigned to is mandatory. Okay. You have to take the assigned to value. Assigned to equal to empty. Okay. You have to write. Okay. So here you have to change the action name. State value as 2. 2 means in progress. You will be able to see a button called work in progress button. Whenever you click on this button, what will happen? Assign to is mandatory. It is checking for assign to field value. If it is filled in, it will actually keep the state value as assigned to in the database. It will actually keep the state value as in progress in the database. So similarly, I am actually creating another UI action called on hold. If the on hold reason field value is filled in, if the on hold reason field value is filled in, sorry. So action name you have to take it here. The action name. So whenever I click on hold here, on hold reason is mandatory. If you don't fill in that, it will actually stop the form submission. You have to enter the field value. Once you enter that, it will allow you to keep it in the state, the on hold state. You can see. If you go to the problem form, if you go to the problem form, once you create the record, once you create the record, you will be able to see a UI action called SS UI action. This is also a UI action. Once you click on this one, okay, if the assigned to value is empty, if the assigned to value is empty, it will actually show the UI page. Whatever you are seeing, this is a UI page. That this is our next topic. This is our next topic. Okay. So once it is assigned to someone, it will automatically go to SS state. Okay. So once it is assigned, it will go to SS stage automatically. That is because of another logic. Okay. So here, if you click on cancel, so if the cancellation reason is empty, it will show this UI page. Instead of error message, it is showing the UI page. That UI pages will be our next topic. So normally what you are doing, whenever you click on this button, if this field value is filled in, we are actually cancelling it. If the field value is not filled in, we are actually showing the error message. Instead of error message, we are showing the UI page. So this is a UI page. So once you click on OK, now you can see the resolution code is cancelled. And similarly, If you click on mark duplicate, so here if the duplicate field value is not filled in, it will actually show the UI page. Instead of error message, it is showing the UI page. That UI pages will be our next topic. Getting my point? Okay. Well, here, so these all are UI actions, guys. This fix is actually a UI action. This is actually calling the UI page. This is also a UI page. This, when I click on the cancellation reason, it is also a UI page. This UI pages will be our next topic. So these are also UI actions, accept risk. So this is also a UI page. Okay. So what I told you, UI actions work on client side, UI actions work on server side, UI actions work on client side and server side both at a time. You have seen that. So now I am actually creating one UI action in the list. I'm actually creating one UI action in the list, in the HR cases list. This is a list. Here I am actually showing a button. Those are actually called list buttons. Okay. So the requirement is I have to create a button here called assign to. I have to create a button here called assign to. Assign me. Instead of using assign to, assign me. Whenever I click on the button, what are all the records that are selected? That record should be assigned to current logged in user. So I am actually creating a button called assign to button. Assign me. Assign me. Okay. So it's a list UI action. Okay. It's a client side UI action only. Assign me function I am creating. Okay. Here, I have created a new button called assign me button that will appear only on the list. Okay. So you can select one, two, three records. After selecting these checkboxes, if you click on this one, these three records should be assigned to current logged in user, that is system administrator. So how do we check if these checkboxes, these three checkboxes are checked or not? So that is where you have to use glide list API. Glide list will work only on the list. Glide list can be accessed using G underscore list, where selected records is equal to G underscore list dot get checked. Whatever the records that are checked, the list of how many records checkboxes are checked, that record system IDs you will get it here. Okay. Getting my point. Those system IDs you will get it comma separated. You will see that. If any checkbox is checked, it will be true. If no checkbox is checked, it will come to else part. I'm writing an alert here. Okay. If no record selected, and if you click on this one, what is it telling? Select at least one record. If I check this one checkbox here, it will not show that message. So what I am doing here, I am passing these checked record system IDs to the server side. That is where you have to use glide Ajax again here. Okay. So before we write the glide Ajax, we will write a background script here. U underscore HR underscore case. Here I am using encoded query. Encoded query. The comma separated system IDs you have to pass here. You have to use while loop to loop each record and gr dot set value u underscore assign underscore to comma. So current logged in user system ID you have to pass. Current logged in user ID you can pass from client side to server side, or you can directly take it in the server side using gs dot get user ID. gs dot get user ID is actually is used to get the current logged in user system ID. Okay. Gr dot update. I am going to take this particular script out. Okay, let me do one thing. Where is updated is equal to false. Is updated is equal to true. I'm going to run a script include. This should be dynamic. Okay. Now you will write glide ajax here. comma, selected records. That selected records and system IDs I am passing here, okay? Okay. Getting my point. Go to the HR cases list. Okay. I've clicked on it. What is it telling? Select at least one record. So I have selected 2 records. Okay. When I click on assign me, these 2 records will be assigned to system administrator name. If I selected 2 records here, those 2 records will be assigned to system administrator. Getting my point? So this is a list UI action. So first of all, what I am doing is I am just checking how many checkboxes are checked. If no checkbox checked, I am showing please select one record. Checkbox is checked. At least one checkbox is checked. I'm actually calling the script include. Inside the script include, I am calling this method. Here I am passing the checked record system ID. So using that system ID, I am querying the HR cases. I am assigning it to the current logged in user. So if it is assigned to current logged in user, I'm actually refreshing the list using this method. The list should be refreshed. So that is why I set timeout method. So after clicking on the button, wait for 300 milliseconds. Wait for 300 milliseconds and refresh the list. This dot window dot location dot reload means refreshing the list. Okay. Getting my point? Okay. So I'm going to give you one complex task. So you have to click on resolve button here. You have to create a resolve button here. So how many records are created? How many records are selected? So if you select 3 records here, if I click on resolve button, it has to check every record has resolution code and notes are added or not. Every record has resolution code and notes are added or not. If any one record has resolution code and notes are not added, it has to show an alert. This particular record has resolution code and note not added. Something like that we have to show. So for rest of them, we have to resolve it. Whatever the records whose resolution code and nodes are provided, we have to resolve it. Whatever the record which is not provided the resolution code and nodes, we have to show them in an alarm. It is very tricky one. Okay. You guys are clear with the UI actions concept? So not tomorrow, on Monday, we are going to discuss UI macros concept. Tomorrow, I would request you to join the session at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow, I would request you to join at 8 a.m. I'll also inform in the group so that you can join at 8 a.m. Okay. Any questions from anyone, guys? I'm unmuting everyone. Any questions from anyone, guys? Nobody is asking any question. Prithvi, Sai Kiran, Basuraj.
Uday, not on this, like on yesterday's class,
Yes, please go ahead.
like as you said, to create the temp table, right? But I have tried it, it's not working for me.
So will you be able to share your screen now?
It's,
Okay. Just a moment, guys.